Okay, everybody. So what we're going to start doing is looking at the site design in 3D. And I want to preface this by saying the drawings that we were given didn't really have much information on the actual site design. So we're going to take some liberties and we're going to kind of design it and give it some, give it some grade, some contour lines, just, to kind of emulate the effect. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt. A little bit of this is a design exercise, and we're just going to try and make this thing look good. Okay, first thing I want to do here is basically show you the relationship of exterior architectural elements to interior architectural elements. There are obviously going to be wall types, and there are going to be some site, almost like floor type families. And they can be treated many different ways. Most importantly, I think I want you to understand that the stuff like your hardscape is generally going to be the particular element that defines all of your grade connections between different materials. So something like the driveway, like what you have here, you generally want to set the grade elevations of your driveway before you set the grade elevations of your grass that's going to go next to it, right? Because in theory, grass is always kind of like rising and falling depending on, the ecological cycle and stuff like that. So it's never a perfect science there. The things that are perfect and are permanent are the ones that you want to set as your baseline. So I guess, let's start off by understanding how to do site elements using a few different types of tools. And then we'll start moving into like contouring and stuff like that. So what I want to show you first is the driveway element, and then I want to show you how you can do something like cutting an apron at the end of your driveway, right? You guys know what an apron is, or a curb cut? It's basically the thing that you have at the end of your driveway that dips down to the street. And we're going to simplify this. So diagrammatically, our curb cut, that's terrible marker, but our curb cut is going to have a shape that looks like that, right? And this is the driveway. And this line and this line, so basically everything here is sloping down straight, and then everything here is sloping down to that point. So what we need to do is define the height of this point and that point on both sides. Okay, so you do that by modifying parts of the surface that you have modeled. So let's take a look at it as, if we're going to simplify this and it's mostly flat, we can just do a floor family. So click on floor, and yeah, sure, we can start with floor generic. That's fine. I'll edit that, duplicate it, and we're going to call this, let's call it concrete paving. Now, generally, exterior concrete paving is just going to be something like 4 inches thick, roughly, and it's going to have some like grade base, like compacted grade fill and stuff, like sand or gravel or whatever needs to go underneath it based on what type of soil you have. But the only thing that you actually model is the thickness of the concrete, because the rest of it you just take care of in detailing. So we're just going to edit this, and I'm going to change my structure to be concrete. All right, so we have 4 different types of concrete here. Precast, lightweight, cast in place, and concrete masonry units. So concrete masonry units are basically like those big bricks that you see, like those gray bricks, right? CMU, right? So those we're not going to use. Cast in place is what we're going to have, but we probably want to change it to be specific to this particular one, because concrete can come in many different colors or finishes, or like aggregates exposed or aggregates floated down underneath. So let's just right click this, and we're going to duplicate it, and we're going to call this concrete cast in place. We'll just say A, okay, because I don't know whether or not it's going to have a descriptive name later. So hit OK, and then change your thickness to 4 inches, and then we're good to go. So the cool thing about these CAD files being linked in is that we can also use the picker tool and we can very quickly just kind of go around this whole profile and develop our floor. Yeah, this is one of the coolest parts of Revit. I love using these features. No, I'll clean up connections like that later if we need to. I mean, I'm just trying to show you how the tool works. I'm not really trying to model it super accurately. It would be very exhausting for you guys to sit here and look at me clean up all these little corners and stuff. So I'm trying to keep it simple, and I'll leave it to you guys to kind of extrapolate that information and then model it more accurately and correctly later. Okay, so that's kind of the general sort of way that you would model that. But I do want to point out real quick that it does have a level bias. So the top surface, because this is a floor family, the top surface is going to be at my level 0 or whatever I set it to. So that concrete is actually sitting down, so the top surface is flush with the interior of my building right now. In reality, you know, they're going to probably have a slight difference, you know, a couple inches or an inch or so. But anyway, I just want you to be aware of that. We're simplifying those types of things. So let's do a quick curb cut. But in order to do that, we have to kind of emulate the sidewalk. So I'm going to just take this piece right here, and I'm going to extend it an extra 4 feet. Oh, actually, yeah, we're going to have 4 feet for a sidewalk, and then let's do 4 feet for the apron. So go 8 feet out. Yeah, no, you know what? Sorry, I know how I want to do this. Let's cut this back. Let's make a copy of that at 4 feet, and then we'll make another one of these 4 feet back from there. And I'm actually going to trim this up, and we're going to make it have a gap. Okay. So why don't you guys spend a little bit of time getting to this point, and then we'll continue on with actually, you know, creating some level change within the surface. All right.